Hey there, just call me A. And now I just wanted to tell you a story from my childhood. It happened long time ago, way back when I was still around 5 to 7 years old. And yes, that is me. I looked like a boy when I was young, mainly because having short hair and loose clothing was way more comfortable in a humid country. In my childhood home, we had a vacant lot where kids from the neighborhood used to play. It was a big open space surrounded by different houses. One day, two of my teenage cousins got a tri-bike. For those who are not familiar, it is a bike with a sidecar on it. I loved riding along since I didn't have my own at the time. However, the younger cousin was a bit mean back then. He would tell scary stories just so he could get rid of me. And alas, he always succeeded. I always get scared and run off, but since I didn't want other kids to think of me as a wimp while running, I always made funny faces to my cousins so the others will think we just had a fight. I clearly remember it was the Friday night of the Holy Week. I know because my family was getting ready to head out. I came from a Catholic family, and it was a yearly tradition to see the procession of the saints every Black Friday. There will be a bunch of saint statues parading the whole town. It will start at the church at around 6 p.m. and will not arrive on our street until around 9 p.m. I was always the first in my family to head out, and that night was no different. Just to give you a bit of a background, my childhood home was a compound property, so there were multiple houses in it, and it so happened that our home was the last one. Meaning, in order to get out, I had to pass my aunt and uncle's houses first. And just to give you an insight, this is our house, not to confuse it with an arrow. I am just not good with drawing shapes. And this is a long alley. On either sides were the houses of my aunt and uncle, and it was dark in here because there were no lights, and the only source was the lights coming from each of their houses. And this is a parking space. This is also where my cousins leave their tri-bikes at night or when it is not in use. It was also dark here as there was only one street light for the whole area. Back to the story. As I was the first to head out, I noticed a tri-bike on the parking, and being a playful and curious kid, I just had to take a look. While I was busy with the bike, I noticed there was a shadow and some wind coming from above me. Take note that the parking didn't have a roof, so whatever was above me must have been coming directly from the open sky. And when I looked up, I saw what appeared to be a kite that was shaped as a human torso, but with two glowing eyes and moving wings. At least this is how I remember it. It just kept circling above me, or should I say the parking lot. I was about to run back to our house when I heard my mom called my name. That was when I felt a sudden breeze of air. She and my older sister was halfway across the alley, and when they reached me, I told them about the weird thing and pointed in the sky. But when we looked, nothing was there. My mom took my hand and I was about to tell her and my sister about it. But when my other friends called me, the weird kite suddenly became a less important thing for me at that moment. It wasn't until morning the next day that I asked my parents and my older siblings about it, but they brushed me off. I also told my friends that I saw a cool but scary kite last night, but none of them were that interested, so I just dropped it. I don't talk about it that much anymore, mainly because I don't want to sound weird or creepy, but it never left my mind. Even though I couldn't explain what was that flying thing with glowing eyes, it is like a core memory for me. It is a part of my childhood that I'll never forget. Some of my friends told me it might have just been a kite or a cloth, and the glowing eyes were just a reflection of the light, while others say that it was just my playful imagination as a child. Well, I guess I wouldn't really know. What do you think?